leading the way. You're watching KNBC 9 News on KCWE.
In 2021, a man was found shot multiple times inside of a car at a KCK park. The new information we just learned in his homicide.
And a weather impact day for more showers and thunderstorms possible later on this afternoon. We'll go through your timeline coming up.
And a cyber attack in Wyandotte County could have put your information at risk. As the hunt for the culprit continues, we'll tell you which departments were hit. But first, we do want to start with that new information that just came into our newsroom. A suspect is now facing charges in an unsolved KCK murder from last summer. U.S. Marshals captured David Lamont Young III yesterday in Cleveland, Ohio. Prosecutors have filed a first-degree murder charge against him. Young is accused of killing Skylar Needham last August. Needham was shot to death while he was visiting Mackey Park. Wyandotte County Sheriff Daniel Soptic says the investigation is far from over and that other people who were part of the killing of Needham will be brought to justice.
We will continue to hold people accountable for their actions and provide a safe environment for everyone.
Soptic credits cooperative work among law enforcement agencies on both sides of the state line for the capture of Young. Well, thanks so much for being with us here at noon. I'm Jamie Weiss, joined by Neville Miller, and it is a rainy day today.
It is kind of gray again, a little bit warmer. We're in the 50s right now. We're going to hopefully get into those 60s, but you're right. Yeah, we have some rain to talk about, and there's a look at live radar, and you can see we still have some showers around. They're generally pretty light, and now they're mostly east of the metro, a little bit closer to Carrollton and Chillicothe. Still some rumbles of thunder near Brookfield, east of Trenton. So for the most part, the thunderstorms that we saw earlier today, they are lifting north and east. Right now, just some lighter showers are trying to develop. You see some of that south of Lewisburg, near Garnett, heading towards Butler. As far as what you can expect later on this afternoon, we're going to keep an eye on the possibility of a few strong thunderstorms between about 4 to 7 p.m. So weather impact for that, possibly some small hails. We'll be monitoring that later in the afternoon into the early evening. For today, expect more of those off and on showers, a few thunderstorms possible. That south breeze, 15 to 20 miles an hour. We get back to about 60 this afternoon, maybe a little warmer into the early evening. Then we'll see some much warmer air roll in later on as we head through the rest of the week. I'll let you know when our highs get back to near 80 degrees. That's coming up.
Yeah, something I'm definitely looking forward to. Thanks, Neville. We do want to get to the latest now on the coronavirus pandemic and the confusion over face masks. The Justice Department's considering an appeal after a federal judge in Florida struck down the nationwide mask mandates for planes and other public transportation. This as Americans try to navigate the new mask rules that vary by state, by city, and mode of transportation. ABC's Rena Roy has the latest.
As some Americans rejoice over going maskless,
I think it's wonderful. In fact, I'm ecstatic.
The Justice Department saying the new rules may not last for long, saying they'll appeal if the CDC believes the federal mask mandate on transportation is still necessary. The CDC saying overnight that it recommends masks during travel and that it will assess the need for a mask requirement. For now, the TSA no longer enforcing masks on planes, major airlines dropping their requirements.
My wife, who's pregnant, and my 4-year-old daughter, who's not yet old enough to be vaccinated, flew out to California thinking that the mask mandates would be in effect on both legs of our trips. And halfway through, it's going to be a different situation.
Face coverings are no longer required on trains, buses, or transportation hubs either, but those rules vary by location, and it's not so simple. For example, you can fly in and out of New York City and Philadelphia without a mask, but have to wear one while walking through the airport because of local mandates. These complicated rules coming at a time when more than half the U.S. is seeing an increase in cases.
And a subvariant of BA2 first discovered last week in New York could be about 25% more contagious. It's already estimated to account for nearly a fifth of new daily COVID cases here in the U.S. We continue tracking COVID hospitalizations on both sides of the state line. This chart here shows you the falling trend since a spike in December. Missouri's rolling 2-week average of hospitalizations is at 380. That's down 17% in the last 2 weeks. Kansas is at 99 patients in hospitals with COVID, down 20%. Locked doors, ID checkpoints, and more mental health help. Those are just some of the plans to keep students safe in Olathe schools. Administrators outlined their safety plan last night, more than a month after a shooting at Olathe East High School. The district says the schools will not be adding metal detectors even though several people asked about them. Administrators claim the risks outweigh the benefits. They're also working to improve communication between staffers who travel between buildings. That way they know if there's a problem in the next place they're headed. The district is also planning to add more lighting and more cameras. The only applause of the night came when one parent commented she thought the school district handled the recent school shooting at Olathe East well.
Our school resource officers, who I just can't be more grateful for, and they showed why they are so important in the last month in the incident in our building.
About 75 people were there. The district didn't directly comment on the March 4th shooting. There is an internal and criminal investigation underway. The 18-year-old charged with the shooting at Olathe East High School is still in the hospital and in serious condition, but doctors say he is stable. Jaylon Elmore is accused of shooting an assistant principal and a school resource officer, both of whom are recovering. Olathe schools recently cut student wellness advocates because of budget challenges. There will be 4 in the district, and parents say they'd like more funding set aside to address mental health and hopefully prevent any safety threats in the future. We do have new details on a potential explosive scare in Independence. Police found part of a grenade in the middle of a field. This was near Truman Road in Sterling. The good news is no one was hurt, and that threat is gone now after police found out it was just the outer shell of the grenade without any dangerous explosives inside. Police are still working to figure out how it got there. The unified government of Wyandotte County and Kansas City, Kansas are still reeling from a cyber attack. KMBC 9's Martin Augustine is in Wyandotte County to explain what UG services are still hurting this afternoon.
From dealing with legal matters to renewing the license plate on your car, the unified government is still untangling itself from the effect of this weekend hack. The state of Kansas has suspended all motor vehicle services with Wyandotte County. For now, there can be no electronic filings for the county's court proceedings, and services through the district attorney's office are delayed as well. This attack is severe enough to warrant the attention of the Department of Homeland Security and the FBI. KCK Mayor Tyrone Garner says, "We appreciate the hard work of UG technology and security teams on their swift response to the attack." Now, Mayor Garner is optimistic the county is going to bounce back just fine from all of this. There is a cybersecurity team for the Mid-America Regional Council that is in on this as well, trying to determine if any personal data has been compromised. Martin Augustine, KMBC 9 News.
A Kansas City couple is charged with stabbing an 18-month-old. Anthony Bagley Beck is accused of assault and armed criminal action, while Tabitha Ong is charged with child endangerment. Police say the couple led officers on a chase in Blue Springs on Monday. When officers approached the car, they saw Beck holding a small child with a large wound. He's currently being held on no bond, and there's no word on the condition of that child. Leawood police are looking for the people who robbed a CVS pharmacy. This happened Sunday afternoon at the CVS at 119th and Row. 4 people dressed in all black, you see pictured here, walked into a restricted pharmacy area. They stole containers of prescription cough syrup. They drove off in a gold or tan Trailblazer. If you can help police catch them, you can get in touch with them using the TIPS hotline or pull out your smartphone and scan this QR code. You can also send in a tip by calling 816-474-TIPS. If you had your items stolen from your storage unit, you may actually have a way to get your stuff back this week. Kansas City, Missouri police recently found hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of stolen items. You can visit Metro Patrol Station on Prospect Thursday and Friday between 9 and 3 to reclaim your items. You will need to bring a police report, ID, and a car or truck large enough to get your stuff back. KCPD tells us they now know of dozens of theft victims from both sides of the state line. Police took someone into custody in the case last week. Well, all the rain this morning may have been a factor in several crashes, including this one on I-70 westbound this morning near Blue Ridge Cutoff. 2 lanes were closed just before 9 o'clock as emergency crews tried to remove that rolled over vehicle from the road. No word yet from police on the injuries or exact cause from this crash, but Neville definitely saw quite a lot of rain this morning.
That's right, Jamie. We had that rain, had some thunderstorms this morning as well in a few spots, and now we're mainly just dealing with clouds, a few light showers still left over, and our temperatures, they're hanging out in the 50s. 53 downtown, 54 for Overland Park and Olathe, 54 in Grandview, 52 degrees for Independence, 40s to our north, 60s off to our west and southwest. So there's some warm air out there. It's just taking a sweet time getting here. And just like Jamie mentioned, we had some rain this morning, showers, some thunderstorms. Those are primarily lifting off to the east and northeast. Still lots of clouds. In fact, that cloud line goes all the way back into central Kansas near Hayes. All part of a storm system lifting through and a cold front. That front's going to come through later on this afternoon to the evening, and it'll spark off a few more showers, possibly a few stronger thunderstorms with small hail, so we'll be watching for that. 60 this afternoon, a weather impact for those off and on showers and that risk of seeing some thunderstorms later today. Then heading into the evening, we're quieter. We'll dry things out. I think we'll see some clearing. Temperatures will be actually a little warmer, lower 60s. I'll let you know when we see a big boost in temperature and how many more rain chances we have this week coming up.
Looking forward to that. Thanks, Neville. Russia is ramping up its attacks on eastern Ukraine, but soldiers there are refusing to surrender. We'll take a look at how soon the U.S. could send another round of aid.
I would go back again if I could feel genuinely confident it's going to make a significant difference.
We followed this Weston man's journey to and from war-torn Ukraine. Now he's continuing his work here at home. We'll show you his next project.
Stay connected with the facts that will move us forward. You're watching KMBC 9 News, leading the way.
Welcome back. Russian forces have given a deadline for Ukrainian troops holed up in a steel factory in Mariupol to surrender. Ukrainian forces remain defiant, but warn they don't know how much longer they can hold out. ABC's Justin Finch is in Washington with the latest.
As Ukraine's military fights off Russian attacks across the eastern half of the country, its leaders insist holding Mariupol's Azovstal steel plant is a top priority. If that plant falls, so does the city, giving Russia a critical land bridge between occupying forces in eastern Donbass and southern Crimea. Inside Mariupol, city officials claim more than 1,000 civilians are taking refuge, women, children, and the elderly, alongside Ukrainian fighters. ABC News cannot independently verify that claim. Speaking to the Washington Post, a Ukrainian Marine commander says he's holed up in that steel plant, fighting to keep it in Ukraine's hands. He says forces may have only days or hours left. As Ukraine's President Zelensky says Russia's major offensive in the east has begun, sources tell ABC News the Biden administration is readying another military aid package that could number in the hundreds of millions of dollars. That's on top of the $800 million weapons package that's already being delivered. The Pentagon saying that Ukraine now has more operational military aircraft and plane parts than they did just 2 weeks ago, but was reluctant to say where those aircraft and parts had come from.
They have received additional aircraft and aircraft parts to help them, get more aircraft in the air.
Press Secretary Kirby says it's unclear when other heavy military equipment promised by the U.S. will arrive in Ukraine, but he does say he expects it'll be very soon. You can still help the people of Ukraine this weekend. The Ukrainian Club of Kansas City is hosting an all-day benefit Saturday. Money raised will help pay for medical supplies. Beer Station on Gregory is going to be donating a portion of their sales to the cause. There's also going to be an auction with prizes, including a batch of Ukrainian beer. KMBC 9 continues to work with the Red Cross to help the people of Ukraine. You could join in the efforts by going to kmbc.com/Red Cross. A Weston man is back home after spending more than 5 weeks on the ground in Ukraine. Paul Schwenison helped with the military and humanitarian efforts near Kyiv. He and his wife have also been raising money to get more supplies to the people there. All those donations helped provide a woman with groceries, which Paul says is a moment he'll never forget.
Just to see her break down in tears, and it was hard to hold it back myself. I don't think I'll ever forget that moment, because you have that very human connection. You realize what they've been through, and it just comes sort of bubbling out of them.
Paul and his wife are now raising money to buy pickup trucks for the Ukrainian military. Well, tonight you could talk directly to Wyandotte County's new mayor about how you think the UG's budget should be spent. Leaders are calling the conversation Don't Talk. There are 3 listening sessions. The first will be tonight from 6 to 8 at the Wyandotte County Museum. That's on 126th Street in Bonner Springs. There's going to be pizza and play options for your kids, so that way you can get your questions answered. The county does ask that you sign up ahead of time. To RSVP, just visit the website listed here on your screen. One county over, Johnson County could regain control of its public transportation services. So for the last 7 years, Kansas City's Transportation Authority has handled bus routes in Johnson County. Tomorrow night, the county board's going to decide whether they'd like to take that responsibility back. JOCO would still be a part of Ride KC's routes. There would just be a different group handling the planning for it. We know that construction starts today in the historic Jazz District on a massive apartment building. It's called 19 Vine. This is going to be built along East 19th Street between the Paseo and Vine. The 6-story building will have market rate 1 and 2 bedroom units. There's no opening date yet, but today was the groundbreaking. The plan is to add retail spaces and restaurants on the ground floor. Tonight is the final event of Big Brothers Big Sisters of Greater Kansas City's Big Draft campaign. From 5:30 to 7:30 at No Other Pub in Power and Light, you can learn more about what it takes to be a big. There's more than 200 littles on a waiting list, hoping that you'll step up to be a big and help them. If you'd like to attend tonight's workshop, you will get a chance to win tickets to a Chiefs game coming up next season. Tonight, administrators at Kansas City, Missouri's public schools will be talking about changing the district's start times. High schools, middle schools, and some elementary schools would run from 8 to 3. The remaining elementary schools would be in school from 9:15 to 4:15. There's no vote scheduled for tonight. This is just a discussion. Well, the first Buck O'Neil Classic is in the books. The Kansas Jayhawks baseball team hosted Texas Southern at Legends Field last night. Both teams wore uniforms to pay tribute to the Negro League. The Jayhawks wore uniforms styled to be just like the Kansas City Monarchs, while Texas Southern paid tribute to the Homestead Grays. They hope this is a yearly event. It was so cool to see all their outfits. This summer, Buck O'Neil will finally be inducted to the National Baseball Hall of Fame. The second baseman for the Jayhawks actually grew up in KC and wore the number 22 to honor the late, great Buck O'Neil.
It was special. It was special for sure, being able to honor the legend, Buck O'Neil, and wear 22. It's pretty cool. My family can come watch me and wear these super cool uniforms, but yeah, I think it should continue and be a yearly thing.
Well, the Kansas Jayhawks won the inaugural Buck O'Neil Classic, beating the Tigers 7-6. The Kansas City Royals are back at home hosting a midweek series against the Minnesota Twins. Carlos Hernandez took the mound for Game 1, and he got some help from the defense, staying scoreless even through this close call in the third. Ryan Jeffers singles to center. Gary Sanchez tries to score from second. Michael A. Taylor shows why he won a gold glove last year, nailing Sanchez at home. Cam Gallagher makes the tag out for the out, and the review is going to hold up. A Hunter Dozier homer helps the Royals lock in a win-1 in this series. 4-3 is the final. Now, the same two teams are going to be back at it tonight. First pitch set for 7:10. Wednesdays are student nights at the K, meaning students get in for just $10 with a photo ID from school. A student from the Sherwood Autism Center is going to be throwing out the first pitch. April is Autism Acceptance Month, and the Royals hope to draw attention to the great work they're doing at Sherwood at tonight's game. And Neville, we were talking about this during commercial break.
Right.
You know, I was honestly surprised that the game is still going on because of how much rain we saw today.
Yeah, it was rainy this morning. We had a few thunderstorms this morning, but I think we're going to see enough dry time this afternoon and hopefully this evening, even though we may see a few more thunderstorms, that we can get that game in. We already had one rained out over this past weekend, so I think we'll be able to get the game in, but just bring your rain gear to be on the safe side. First pitch, so for the start of that game at 7:15, there may be some scattered storms. I think the better chances are going to be for areas mainly south of the metro. Temperatures will be right around 62 degrees. Then for the ninth inning, as a cold front moves on through, we'll actually see those clouds moving out and temperatures in the middle 50s. So just have that extra layer there to stay warm if you're heading to this evening's game, and that rain gear to be on the safe side too. Right now we are looking out towards the K. You can see just how gray it is out there. 52 degrees, still some showers being reported up near KCI. We have a wind out of the south-southeast at 16 miles an hour, so it is breezy. Again, hit or miss light showers, so if you do have to head out this afternoon, take the umbrella with you just so you can, in case you have those showers, you run into some of those, you'll stay dry. 49 in Liberty, 52 our temperature in Lee Summit, 53 for Belton, Olathe 54. There's some warmer out there. It's trying to get here. 61 right now in Ottawa. It's just, again, the clouds and the showers are making it hard to warm up. As we go through the day, that weather impact over the next several hours, often on showers, watching for thunderstorms, 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. A few of those storms could have some small hail, so we'll be monitoring that, especially between 4 and 6. Low 60s here later in the afternoon to the early evening, then back in the upper 50s and drying out for our late evening hours. Here's Future Scan. I want to take you through the rest of today and into our day tomorrow. So I saw it right there, South Lacine near Butler. That was one of those storms I was telling you about that could have some smaller hail, so we'll be monitoring that. That's 6 p.m. Those will push off to the southeast. Here's 10 o'clock. Notice how we do move out a lot of that cloud cover. Tomorrow morning, I do think clouds will start to develop once again. We'll start to see the sky get a little more gray. It's certainly heading into the afternoon, looking cloudier. And then as we head into our Thursday evening, we'll see another round of thunderstorms, and I think we'll see a better chance across northern Missouri and Kansas. That being said, we still need to watch the sky late in the afternoon to the evening, closer to the metro, because there is that potential we could see a few stronger thunderstorms closer to the metro area late in the day tomorrow. So we'll be monitoring that too. All right, let's break it all down. Today, an impact day, showers, some thunderstorms, 63 your high temperature, 73 tomorrow, evening showers and storms, another weather impact day because of the rain. Watching for a few lingering showers early Friday, otherwise windy and warm, 82 for a high, then more storms. Late Saturday into Sunday, another weather impact there, 78 on Saturday, 63 cooler on Sunday, and then another rain chance next Tuesday.
Okay, good to know. Thanks, Neville. A makeover project is happening now at the old Monarchs Plaza. See how the historic area was able to find something helpful in helpful funding. There's another big Kansas City event to get ready to celebrate. It's first time back in full force since the start of the pandemic. See what Planet Comic-Con is doing this year that's really making the event out of this world. A historic site in Kansas City is getting a makeover. Evergy workers teamed up with the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum to fix up Monarch Plaza at 22nd and Brooklyn. Check this out. This is the old site of Municipal Stadium where the Monarchs used to play. The plaza, which honors the team and its players, has aged over the years, so volunteers worked on the site Tuesday.
You know, I think Buck's smiling today in so many ways, you know, in terms of what we've been able to achieve this year. So many integral, symbolic moments for this plaza. It's not just us putting plants down, it's us keeping history alive.
The Negro Leagues Baseball Museum entered Evergy's contest for the makeover. Besides volunteers, the museum also won a $10,000 grant. Planet Comic-Con returns to Kansas City, Missouri this weekend, but before that, the convention is setting up at Bartle Hall. Today, things get started when the crew brings in the Liberty Bell 7. That's a Mercury capsule that actually went out to space and came back in 1961. This was part of the second manned space flight. It'll be on display all weekend long at Planet Comic-Con. Outside the capsule, Planet Comic-Con offers chances to meet creators and actors from different areas of the entertainment industry. That'll run Friday through Sunday. The next time you're in the West Bottoms, head on over to Hy-Vee Arena to find a piece of Kansas City's heart. The Parade of Hearts public art project includes 154 hearts set up all across the metro, including this one. It is called Casey's Best Friend. The artist was inspired by her two dogs, who she calls her best friends. The heart features 14 different dog breeds for the 14 counties in our area. That is really cool. She hopes it reminds you that we are all united. And some of Kansas City's stunning architecture has made its way into the Parade of Hearts. This entry in the public art project is called Kansas City in Harmony. It pays tribute to the Kauffman Center for the Performing Arts as well as the Kansas City Symphony. This heart is located at the corner of 11th and Hickory in the West Bottoms. The hearts will remain on display through May, then they'll be auctioned off for charity in June. The group in charge of the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department will now let people from across the state line join the force. We'll explore why other city leaders aren't thrilled with the idea. We're taking a live look outside the metro, a rainy, miserable Wednesday, but there's some good news on the horizon. We'll check in with Neville Miller in just a bit.
committed to serving the residents of Kansas and Missouri. KMBC 9 News, leading the way.
Thanks for sticking with us at noon. I'm Jamie Weiss, joined by Neville Miller, and it has been just like a rainy, gross day out there today.
Yeah, we've had a few thunderstorms here early. We're seeing a little bit of a lull. Kind of depends on where you live. Some of us are drying out. Some of us are still kind of damp out there. It's still kind of cool out there, but we will get a little warmer later on today. Right now, though, looking at live radar around the metro, still seeing a lot of moisture in the air, but as far as that measurable rain that we had earlier, a lot of that now is to the east. It's moving through central Missouri. You can see heading closer towards like Columbia, Missouri and Jefferson City. Marshall, Sedalia still hanging on to some showers. Otherwise, just cloudy, a little bit of drizzle here and there. And our temperatures on the cool side, we're mainly hanging out in those 50s. I do want to show you this, our thunderstorm forecast, because late in the afternoon into the early evening, 4 o'clock to about 7 o'clock in the evening, we do have a window in which we could see a few stronger thunderstorms, maybe one or two that have some small hail. So we'll be monitoring that from the metro and really areas southward, Garnett, Lacine, Butler, and Clinton. I think you'll have the better chances of seeing a few of those storms. Temperatures still kind of cool. We're at 52 in Kansas City, 54 for Olathe, Ottawa 61 degrees. There's some warmer air out there. It's trying to make its way towards the east. This afternoon, I think we're going to be in the upper 50s around the metro. Weather impact for chances of showers, a few thunderstorms coming in late in the afternoon. And then as we head through the evening, we're going to see those rain chances move out of the area. We'll see the clouds actually clear out as well. Then we get into the lower 60s around sunset, and then warmer air will really start to settle in over the next several days. And I'll let you know just how warm we're going to get for your Thursday and your Friday that's coming up.
All right, good to know. Thanks, Neville. A former employee of the Johnson County District Court is pleading guilty to a $1 million fraud scheme. Donna Kellogg pleaded guilty to federal charges of wire fraud and giving a fake tax return. Prosecutors say she managed the court's accounting department and stole $1.1 million between 2007 and 2017. A small change could have a big impact in the Kansas City, Missouri police force. Kansas residents can now become police officers. Only one member of the police commissioner's board wasn't on board with the switch. Yesterday's vote decided that officers can now live in Kansas as long as they're within 30 miles of the city. Before, all employees had to be Missouri residents. Mayor Quentin Lucas is worried that allowing Kansans to work on the force will build a less diverse department with people not as familiar with the city.
At a time where after 2 years we have been talking about how do we build community connections, how do we build further trust, I don't think anybody would say that this makes things better in terms of how you do that.
Current Casey Police Chief Rick Smith is defending the change, saying expanding the requirements will actually help recruit and retain officers. Yesterday's meeting was his last with the police board. He's retiring Friday after 34 years with KCPD and 5 years as chief.
Do I feel like I've made some improvements here? Do I feel like some decisions that the team and I have come up with? Yeah, I think there's some added aspects. And frankly, I'm sure the next person will do equally as well and hopefully leave it better than I have it today. That's what we all hope.
Deputy Chief Joe Mabin will be the interim chief until the police board can choose Smith's permanent replacement. Kansas City leaders are discussing ways to reduce violence in the city after recording 9 homicides this past week. The director of the city's health department says it's something her staff could actually help with. When Dr. Marvia Jones first took office, she said one of her priorities as the health director was to address gun violence. Jones says the best way to tackle that issue is to treat it like any disease.
We know that like any contagious disease, more violence can tend to beget more violence, which is again where we're focusing on how do we intervene at an early stage.
The Kansas City Child Protective Center is also concerned about the recent outbreak of violence. It says there's been a 30% increase in the number of kids who have actually witnessed a homicide in the last 2 years. The Kansas City, Missouri Health Department will be rolling out a new program soon that's focused on strengthening families and breaking the cycle of violence. The head of a local organization helping kids praises a new Kansas law imposing harsher penalties for child abuse. The law increases the felony levels for child abuse charges. Sentencing now ranges from 1.5 years to 5 years in prison, depending on the age of the child and the type of abuse. The CEO of Court-Appointed Special Advocates of Johnson and Wyandotte Counties, also known as CASA, says the law will help protect kids.
If a child has already been through those circumstances, the hope is that it's preventing them from further abuse by really, again, holding the accountability of the people who are perpetrating those crimes.
CASA volunteers advocate for children who are removed from their homes for their safety. The organization is always looking for new volunteers. If you're interested, you can go to CASA's website to see how you can sign up. A reality check for Netflix. The streaming service is reporting a loss in subscribers, and now it could add commercials to make up for it. ABC's Andrea Fujii has the details.
Overnight, Netflix stock plunging as much as 25% after the streaming powerhouse announced it lost subscribers for the first time in more than a decade.
Just when you think it couldn't get any worse, it just does.
Netflix blaming more competition, illegal password sharing, and Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The company ended the first quarter with 200,000 fewer subscribers than the end of last year.
We're seeing a lot of the subscription fervor that was going on during the pandemic. We're seeing that starting to slow down.
After increasing its monthly cost in January, the basic Netflix plan is now about $10. But according to a new study, more than 60% of people think they shouldn't have to pay any more than $7.50 per month for a streaming service. So in order to lower its price, Netflix is now looking at cheaper ad-supported subscription plans.
Advertising is inevitable. You're going to have to do it not just to acquire new subscribers, maybe even to retain your existing subscribers.
Netflix is also hoping to cash in on non-paying subscribers. The company currently has 222 million paying subscribers, but estimates that passwords are being shared with more than 100 million households, a potential new revenue source.
They really haven't gone after these people.
Netflix isn't the only streaming service hurting. Roku, Spotify, and Disney also traded lower Tuesday.
Whatever Netflix decides to do, probably a lot of other services are going to emulate that in some way.
Netflix says after suspending its service in Russia due to the war in Ukraine, it lost 700,000 subscribers. They expect to lose another 2 million around the world just this quarter. Coming up in our next Consumer Reports, if you're looking to buy a new vehicle this year, you may be considering a hybrid option. Why now might be the perfect time to make the switch? That's next at noon. This Friday is Earth Day, and if you're in the market for a new car, going hybrid might be at the top of your list. As KMBC 9's Donna Pittman and Consumer Reports found out, there's a lot of good reasons to make the switch while gas prices are near record highs.
With gas prices soaring, it's no surprise that hybrid vehicles are gaining popularity. And while the upfront costs are often more than their conventional gasoline counterparts, Consumer Reports says most hybrids will save you money over the long term.
Hybrids have a gasoline-powered engine and a battery-powered electric motor that work together to optimize efficiency. We compared hybrid and non-hybrid versions of some popular vehicles, and found that fuel savings could outweigh the upfront purchase price of some hybrid models.
Using a gas price of $4 per gallon and driving 12,000 miles a year, the Toyota RAV4 Hybrid will pay off its higher cost in 4 years, the Honda Accord Hybrid in 3, and the Hyundai Santa Fe Hybrid in only 2. And if gas prices go up to $5 per gallon, the payback period for the Santa Fe Hybrid could drop to just 1 year.
Beyond fuel economy, some hybrids perform better in our tests than the gas-only versions of the same model. For example, the Hyundai Santa Fe Hybrid rides better, quieter, and shifts smoother than the gas-only Santa Fe. And it's quicker in our acceleration tests, too.
Consumer Reports also finds hybrids often have higher owner satisfaction scores than their conventional counterparts. And if a new hybrid isn't in your budget, consider a used one.
When buying a used car, we say the sweet spot is to look for a well-maintained vehicle that's 5 years old. Not only is it going to cost less than a new vehicle, but it was also designed and built recently enough where you get modern safety and convenience features.
If you're in the market for a new car but not ready to try a hybrid, check out Consumer Reports' website. They have a list of the most fuel-efficient gasoline-powered vehicles there. Donna Pittman, KMBC 9 News.
A call to action for lawmakers from our local veterans. They say some service members aren't getting the medical support they need. The health concern that would be covered if a new bill becomes law. And one of KU's basketball superstars taking the next step forward in his career. Here at David McCormick's message to Jayhawk Nation as he starts his journey to going pro.
All right, it's kind of a gray, rainy start to our day. We're looking at radar, still some rain out there. We could pick up on a few more thunderstorms later this afternoon. We'll look at that timeline after the break.
First Alert Weather. Over 100 years of combined experience to keep you safe. KMBC 9 News, leading the way.
An independent autopsy report shows the Michigan police officer who killed Patrick Loyola pressed the gun against the back of his head before firing. The 26-year-old was shot and killed during a struggle with the officer following a traffic stop in Grand Rapids earlier this month. Family attorney Ben Crump says it's another senseless killing of an unarmed black person in America.
Patrick Loyola was shot in the back of his head. That is now scientific evidence of this tragic killing and what his family believes was an execution.
Results of the official autopsy have not yet been publicly released. Loyola's family haven't been able to see his body yet. State police are investigating that shooting, and the officer who shot Loyola is on paid leave. Police say they won't release his name until he's charged with a crime. Missouri Governor Mike Parson is joining 25 other governors in forming a group called, quote, the American Governors Border Strike Force. It's in response to what the Republican governors call the president's failure to secure the southern border. The strike force, will coordinate state efforts to combat human smuggling and stop drug trafficking. The governor's office says the task force will not cost the state any money. Kansas and Missouri's attorney general want the fundraising website GoFundMe to be more transparent about where people's donations are going. They and 27 other attorneys general sent a letter to the site calling for clarity. They want the owners to explain how it sets standards for fundraisers, how it investigates those fundraisers, and how it'll figure out when to block, freeze, or refund donations. Veterans came to Kansas City on Tuesday to call on Congress to pass a bill ensuring health care for veterans that were exposed to toxins while serving our country. The group gathered outside of the VFW national headquarters in Midtown, calling for approval of the Honoring Our Pact Act. Comedian and activist Jon Stewart was there supporting the bill. The group wants the support of U.S. senators so that bill can become law.
They don't realize that toxic wounds are wounds, that sleeping next to a burn pit is like getting hit with an IED that goes off in your body 7 years later.
It's time to put politics aside, and it's time to get this done and do work for veterans.
The bill passed the House early last month. It's now headed to the Senate. We know that more jobs are coming to Johnson County, Kansas, thanks to a $110 million distribution center planned for Olathe at 167th and Lone Elm. This facility for Smithfield Foods would be highly automated, but it does come with plans to hire 127 people. This is the second big development project announced this week in Kansas. The other was made Monday. It involves a $650 million facility in Manhattan to study global biological threats. Job seekers, get out your pens. There are a number of opportunities today to explore new careers. The first is the Kansas City, Kansas Community College Higher Blue Job Fair at the KCK-CC main campus. It'll run until 2 o'clock today. Employers are looking for folks to fill positions in accounting, behavioral health, criminal justice, and so much more. This career fair is free to anyone to attend. The Kansas Department of Commerce is holding a virtual job fair today that'll last until 5. You can live chat with managers to find out more about their open positions. To see which jobs are available and to register for the fair, just head to kansasworks.com. And the United States Postal Service is holding a job fair today. It's the first of 3 in Kansas City, Missouri, lasting until 2 o'clock at the USPS Administration Building on Pershing Road. The job posting, or the Postal Service, I should say, is hiring for all types of positions. Just head to USPS.com to get details on what jobs are available. If you can't make it out today, don't worry. 2 more job fairs are planned for a week from Friday. They'll be held at the Longview and Hickman post offices. KU national champ David McCormick has declared for the NBA draft. He announced his decision yesterday afternoon. In an Instagram post, he thanked his coaches, teammates, family, and of course, Jayhawk Nation. He says his decision came after talking to family and coaches. He ends his post by saying, quote, "I can't imagine ending my career at Kansas better than we did this past season as national champions." Rock chalk. Tiger fans, listen up. We're not forgetting about y'all. The University of Missouri is hosting a week-long sale on tickets for this year's football opener. That is September 1st at the field there. The Tigers are going to be playing Louisiana Tech. With the sale, tickets start at just $20. MU is trying to fill seats that were originally planned to be used for visiting teams. That offer is good until 11:59 Monday night. Sporting KC plays again on Saturday. They're hosting the Columbus Crew. Sporting is looking for a win after losing 3 matches in a row. The team's now near the bottom of the Western Conference. Players say they know they need to be better.
People got to step up. I do too, to win games and do well, because a team can do well, but at the end of the day, somebody has to do some magic at the end and win the games.
Well, Saturday's game against Columbus is at Children's Mercy Park at 7:30. And, you know, maybe we just all need to go out, Neville, watch their game,
right,
cheer them on. We just need a good forecast.
Yeah,
for
you know,
that.
it's just like weird, like not seeing them do as well as they've had the last several years, because they really have been good. So, you know, hopefully Saturday they can get it done.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Hey, we're going to keep our fingers crossed about this weather too, Jamie, because we do have a cold front that's going to be rolling through Saturday, late night into early Sunday. So there may be some rain around. If you're planning on heading out to that game, go ahead and have that rain gear. Just get that ready just in case. Here's what we're thinking right now, though. Temperatures should be right around 74 degrees there at kickoff at 7:30. It'll be windy. We'll have a strong south wind ahead of that cold front. If it's a slower front, we're going to stay drier as we head through the evening. If that front comes in a little sooner, thunderstorms will become more likely. Still, either way, I think we'll at least have a chance of scattered thunderstorms. 70s to start, 60s heading through the second half. That's how it looks right now. Outside, it's cloudy right now over the plaza. We're currently at 52 degrees. We have a south-southeast wind at 16 miles an hour, so it's breezy. We've had some off and on rain showers. The first round of rain and storms that we saw this morning, that's now making its way into eastern Missouri. Just some leftover lighter showers right now, but there's a cold front that'll come through later today and bring us another chance of rain and storms. Temperatures hanging out near 50 degrees in Liberty and for Cameron, 48 for St. Joseph, 52 for Kansas City, Olathe just a touch warmer, 63 in Ottawa. So there are some spots where it feels warmer out there. For today, it's going to be a slow climb in temperature. I think we'll be near 60 by 4 p.m., 62 at 6, 61 at 8. Weather impact here mainly between now and about 7 p.m. with more scattered showers next couple of hours. And then between 4 and 7, that's when we could pick up on a few thunderstorms, and a few of those could have some small hail. After that, we'll see the clouds gradually move out, and then we're back in those upper 50s by the late evening. Here's Future Scan, and watch as we head towards about 5 o'clock in the evening. You saw it there if you were watching closely, near Garnett, near Lacine, Butler, and Clinton. Possibly a strong storm or two. Those will make their way off to the east. That's 10 p.m. The clouds, they start to move out. So I think we'll see some clearing tonight. The clouds start to move back in tomorrow morning. And then as we head towards midday and into the afternoon, thicker clouds, possibly some showers, watching for a few more thunderstorms, and those storms will gradually lift up to the north as we head later on to the evening with a warm front, and that'll bring us eventually some warmer air later on this week. 63 today, showers and storms, a weather impact because of those rain chances. Tomorrow, storms possible again in the evening, another weather impact. 73 for a high, that may linger into early Friday, 82. So we are warmer and breezy. Weather impact again on Saturday. Active weather, 78 or high temperature. Lingering rain to early Sunday, and then another rain chance next Tuesday.
Thanks for joining us. Have a great day. Happy birthday, Dad.